What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the SixPackBass YouTube channel. I apologize in advance. I have been out probably 4 to 5 times recently and had to take the big walk of shame. It's been tough here in this Texas summer heat. Dog days of summer are upon us and every day is triple digits. So it's been very, very tough. But I will continue to keep grinding and try and get some great content for you guys. So that's kind of why I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, so to speak. I just haven't had anything that I felt was quality enough to share with you guys. But if you guys want, I mean, I can definitely show you those tough times whenever I'm out there. If so, drop down in the comments section, leave me a comment, let me know, and I'll try to put something together for you. But enough of that. Today's video, guys, I actually got some killer items in the mail probably a week or so ago. It's been now, but today I'm just gonna do some maintenance on some of my equipment. I'm going to put some new line on my Baitcaster, so I'll show you guys how I like to, or how I rig up my Baitcasters, as well as, guys, I have something special that I want to show you guys. Let's jump right into what I received. So, for those of you who know what this is, man, I've never had a Loomis rod before, but I was sent a 6.6 medium heavy GL2. This rod feels amazing in my hands. Knew right away whenever I got this, this would become my new Texas rig rod. It will only, I can't say only, more than likely 95% of the time gonna be set up with the Texas rig. This rod is super nice, super sensitive. Any little bump, you can feel it in this grip. Of course, it has a Fuji seat. For those of you who know, Fuji make great stuff. This is a 6.6 medium heavy fast action GL2 Loomis rod. I'm gonna pair that up with my tried and true Abu Garcia Black Max reel. I've got some old braid on here. This is Adco braid, so you guys know I'm a huge fan of Adco's line. We're gonna put some more Adco on it today. This was just getting low. There was a couple of times whenever I was out before cast and you could see I was almost getting spooled, so definitely need to add some line to this guy. So we're gonna do that, throw it on this Loomis rod. But with that rod, I was also sent this reel. This was actually the setup. This is a Team Daiwa Pro, 6:3:1 gear ratio, and this is a left-handed reel. For those of you guys who know, everything I have is right-handed except for one reel. I'm still trying to learn and get used to that left-handed reel. So this is what was on that rod and reel, or that's rod and reel. This is the reel. What was on that rod, so this was what was paired up with it. I'm gonna take it off and put that Black Max on there, just until I get more comfortable with the left-handed retrieve. But enough of me talking, guys. Let me get this old line off of this guy, start from scratch and show you how I rig up my Baitcasters, and then I'll show you the finished product once we get it all together. I will catch you in just a second. All right, guys, so I got the line peeled all the way off of there. And as you can see on this, I just wanted to explain this part. So this has a ported spool on it. Some of the spools, and I'm gonna see if I have one here. All the ones I have out right now have ports on them, but some of them, this is flush. There are no ports. So as you can see here, I've ran this through the ports, and then I've done just a double overhand knot and tightened that down snug. If it does not have this port, I personally, and you guys can correct me or tell me what you use, I shouldn't say correct me, but tell me what you use. I take a piece of electrical tape and actually cut the electrical tape so it lays flush in that spool, and that's what I use to hold it down, put the braid on. I haven't had one slip like that before. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm sure it is possible, but let me know, guys, when you rig up your Baitcaster, what do you use? Especially not so much if it's ported. I mean, that's pretty much an easy one, but whenever that spool doesn't have ports in it, what do you use to anchor that line to that spool? Let me know down in the comment section. And while you're at it, guys, while I'm thinking about it, if you're not already, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notification on. That just lets you know when I come out with my next video. I know it's kind of been a little bit of a gap between my last video, but I'm not making any excuses. You know, life happens. So I'm trying to get out more, trying to make it where I produce great content for you guys. Like I said, I don't want to put it out every time I go out and get skunked, unless you want to see it. If so, let me know. But I'm gonna cut this out, get the new line, and then we'll get this guy rigged up. All right, guys, so like I said, Adco Leviathan braid. This is 30 pound, and it's in Erie green. So I like to go with natural colors. I either use this Erie green or he has a camo color. So that's the two that I use the most. And I use anywhere from, on the low end, I guess 20 pound, and then on the high end all the way up to 40 or 50 pound, just depending on what I'm throwing. So gonna put 30 pound braid on this. One thing I will suggest, guys, as you can see this guide on the front here, as you roll the reel, obviously the guide moves left to right, right to left. That's how it lays the line on evenly. So what I like to do is, if you start out in the middle here, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have one side of your spool is gonna have more line than the other, and so the spool is gonna be off. So what I like to do is, I either get it all the way over to the right, or I get it all the way over to the left, like that, before I start feeding it. Once you do that, then it's gonna lay that line evenly across, and it'll make for a nice finish. So big thing for those of you who are beginners, make sure that you go through the eyelet on the front. Boom. So see if I can get it here. It never fails. You get on camera and you fumble around with this, even though you can do it in your sleep. So make sure that you go through that front guide there. Then we just got to make sure that we go through our ports on our spool, and I'm going to show you, as soon as I get this, I'm going to show you what it looks like in just a second. Okay, guys, so I had to go off camera and get this thing tied on here because, well, like I said, it was starting to frustrate me, but nonetheless, we got it tied up. I actually ended up going with 3 overhand knots, and that locked it in. So as you can see, guide is off to that one side, so my line should go on there quite nicely. I do not have one of those special line holders that helps you keep the line straight while you're feeding, so I pretty much just set this bad boy on the ground. Make sure that you don't want to keep too much tension, because that'll bound up that line, especially with braid. It bounds up together, and when you go to cast, it hangs on itself. Backlash, bad news. But you want to keep slight pressure, just that way there's no gaps in the line and it doesn't create these big ribbon loops, because then that'll create a backlash as well. So it's kind of you want to keep it between the bumpers, so to speak. So not too much tension, but not any tension either. So somewhere right in the middle. It's just something that the more times that you do it, you will figure out kind of that sweet spot. But I'm not gonna bore you guys with me spooling this up, so you get to enjoy this lovely time lapse. So got it all spooled up. So as you can see there, that spool is nice and even. Again, big key, just making sure that you have that guide either all the way to the left or to the right. It is much easier if you have some kind of a tool or rig something up. You can use it with a cardboard box that allows that spool to stay even. That way you don't have to fight it like I did. As you saw, I had to run all over the place and chase this guy. But nonetheless, I also left some extra before I cut it because we're gonna run it back through that rod. But first, I've got this guy locked in right there. We're gonna go ahead and put this reel on. So let's crank it in there, get it all set up. Boom. So now I'm gonna take the end of my line here. This is the easy part, guys. Just feed it through the guides. Big thing here, you wanna make sure you don't miss a guide, that the line doesn't get wrapped around somewhere as you're feeding it through. Because if not, then you're gonna have to cut and redo it. So, but like I said, this is gonna be my Texas rig setup. So I'm gonna get this guy with a bullet weight, probably a 3/0 like EWG hook. We'll see what I have. And I usually like to peg the weight, and I'll show you how I do that as well. So let me dig that stuff out and then I will show you. All right guys, so I'm gonna take, like I said, I like to peg my Texas rig. So I'm gonna put a peg on, bullet weight, and then EWG hook. I think this is a 4/0, I believe, but not 100% sure. It's either a 3 or a 4, which both of those are perfectly fine by me. That's what I typically throw. So let me get a little slack here so we can work with this. And so the first thing we're going to do, for those of you who have never used a peg, they have, and are probably very hard to see, but they have little eyelets. Run the line through the eyelet, grab your tag in there, hold it down, take and pull the black part. You're gonna pull it right onto the line, get it past your tag, pull that off. Now that is nice and snug on there. You can move it down as needed. I usually move it way out of the way so I can tie my knot. Next on bullet weight. Boom, right there. And then I just tie a Palomar knot for my hook. So feed that through. Well, two different ways you can do it. I like to just bend this over right here and push that through. So fold it over, push it through. Some lines you can do that with, others not so much. And then just make sure I get enough slack here so that I can tie. So then it's just an overhand knot. So an overhand knot right there. And I'm not really going into too much detail because there's plenty of videos out there on how to tie a Palomar knot. So boom, flip the hook back through there, and then just make sure you cinch down your loop real good. Don't lose the tag end. Pull that down. Obviously, if you're using monofilament, you want to wet the line a little bit. That way you don't get any kind of abrasion, friction, and tear. Then you've got your tag end right here. Take your scissors, snip that off. Boom, right there. Slide the weight back down. Take your stopper right back there, and kaboom, you are ready to go. This has a nice little spot for the hook right there. Pull her up tight, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I rig my baitcasters. Like I said, I am super pumped about this setup. This rod, I mean, I can just tell it is going to be very sensitive. The only thing different going forward, you know, I need to order some weights from Tungsten, but you know, bullet weight will work for now. but just to add to that sensitivity, the tungsten weight. But guys, I cannot thank you guys enough. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers. I know I keep harping on it, but that's because we are so close. Cannot wait till we hit that milestone, because I'll be able to interact with you guys so much more, as well as I've got some other great things coming down the pipe. Some bigger things that will change the way that we do things on this channel. I don't want to spill the beans too much though, but just stay on the lookout. I promise I will have a video drop that explains everything, and you will be right there with me every step of the way. Super stoked about it, but like I said, new setup, Loomis rod, Black Max reel, put the Adco braid on it, and it is ready to hopefully slay some donkeys. But that's all I got for this one today, guys. Like I said, jump down in that comment section. Let me know, what do you do different when you rig up your bait casters? I would love to hear from each and every one of you. If you're not already, be sure, follow me over on Instagram. I post a ton of content over there. All of my social media accounts are linked in the description below, as well as if you would like to pick up any of these items for yourself, I will link those in the description as well. That's all I got, guys. I'm out.